Hello again. Oops, my microphone's all the way over here. That's better. I assume that's better. All right, so I want to start a new project today, ESPnet. So I've been having a lot of trouble using GTTS, which is Google's text-to-speech. I suspect that it has become a very busy and popular service, and there is a for pay plan. You can give them, I think it's $4 a month or something like that for, I don't know, 1 million characters. Uh, I'm not going to do that. I think it's expensive and it's a good voice, but I can get a festival voice working that's not too terrible. However, this ESPnet may be better, and I haven't worked with this before, so I have just forked this repository. It's ESPnet here. So you see now it's in my location instead, and I'm going to clone this. I'm going to use SSH and clone it. I use SSH because I have SSH set up for GitHub so that I don't have to enter a password every time. All right, so how do I do this? Let me go over here and let me see what I can do with this. So first of all, I do not want to be in this virtual environment. So I'm going to do a conda deactivate. And you'll see here now that I'm in the base environment. And so I'm going to do a conda create. I'm going to create a minus name. I'll call this ESPnet. And let's take a look at the README here. So it looks like we want to use Python 3.7 here. See, it's got all of these guys. So it'll work with any PyTorch. My guess is this is where it was developed using 3.7, and it'll be happy. So let's just do a, oops, Python equals 3.7. Let's see if there's a special version of 3.7. Yeah, I don't see it here. So I think this should be fine. And the thing about creating virtual environments is if you get them wrong, you just remove them or delete them and then or purge them, and then you can recreate it. It's not a big deal. So this is going to make this virtual environment for me. It's going to put these packages in there for me. And then it tells me here that if I want to use it, I have to activate it. Okay, so I'm going to copy that and paste it in here. Conda activate ESPNet. And now I have my virtual environment here. I'm also going to CD over into the code directory. There we go. I got this funny plugin in my ZSH that lets me, it remembers where I've been. And so if I've been someplace that's capital CO and I put the Z, it'll jump to this for me. It's very handy in case you're wondering what that is. All right, so now I should be able to do a git clone. I always clone all of my packages No, that's not it. That's it. Here, git clone git at github.com IKBs ESP and net dot espnet dot git. There we go. So I always clone all of my GitHub repositories into my code directory. Then I know where everything is. Makes it easy to find things. And this is taking a little while. While this is going on, let's take a look at the documentation here. So ASR is automated speech recognition. And so we have all kinds of acronyms here. We're going acronym crazy. Anyway, come back over here for a minute and we'll see that we now have ESPNet. Let's CD in there. ESPNet and see what we've got. All right. So we don't want to use automatic speech recognition necessarily. We just want to do text to speech. So text to speech can use the Tacotron 2 or the transformer text to speech or fast speech 2. Conformer based fast speech. These are all different ways of doing text to speech. And I guess they bundled all this stuff in here so that you don't have to build all these things separately. It also integrates with these vocoders here. So I know, for example, that some of this text to speech stuff works by breaking text up into phonemes or actually converting it to phonemes. And then from phonemes, it goes into these MEL spectrogram files. And then the MEL spectrogram files are converted into audio files. There are also some that work directly end to end. They go directly from text to speech without converting into phonemes. So I think that this tachotron may actually break things up first. Let me see here. Yeah, tachotron does phonemes, and then fast speech goes directly from text into those MEL spectrogram files. If this doesn't make very much sense, what I'm saying, the key takeaway here is that you choose one of these to run, and you run it from within ESPnet. So these are choices. And then you're going to have to take that spectrogram file, MEL spectrogram, and turn it into sound. And that's what these guys do, WaveNet and so on. They're playing the spectrogram files in a realistic way. And so we've got these. I guess we want to do this one here, the ESPNet. And so we've got a table of contents here, which I don't really need to see. We're going to do a single speaker model here. Let's close that up so we get a little more room here. And so the problem with running these Colab notebooks is that there can be hidden code in them. And if you run it, it will have access to your Google account. So I don't run these Colab notebooks unless it's a notebook that I know has been created by Google. Uh, I might run it if it was created by Facebook, for example. I don't know who created this. I don't know who the folks at Espnet are. If I knew that, I might feel better about it. But for now, what I'm going to do is I've got an environment set up over here. Uh, so I'm just going to start running some of this stuff. And so whenever you see an exclamation point, which in the computing world we call a bang, whenever you see a bang in front of a command like this, it means that it's inside of a notebook. It means that it's an operating system command. I'm going to copy this with a Control C, and then I'm going to come over here and paste this with a Control Shift V, like Victor. Right? And this is going to install ESP-Net 0.9.5 and parallel waveGAN equals to 0.48. And once we do that, that was fast. Let's do a pip list and make sure this worked, because it usually going to take longer. All right, so that didn't work. Why didn't it work? Why do we have a list in here? Pip install -q. All right. -q, I think, means quiet. We didn't really need this to be quiet. In fact, I want to see what's happening. I'm going to Control C that, and I'm going to remove that -q. There we go. So it's collecting the packages, and it's collecting lots of them, including PyTorch and all kinds of stuff. Now it's downloading stuff that it needs. So this is good, because you don't want this to be quiet. You want to see it in case there are errors or warnings or anything like that. You want to catch that kind of stuff early. All right, so I'm not interested in Japanese text-to-speech because I don't speak Japanese. Single speaker model demo. So this is a Python file, right? So we're going to have to build a Python file here. Or we're going to have to, I'm going to do this inside of a Jupyter notebook, I think. So once this finishes, if it ever finishes, because it is a big setup. So this reminds me of Facebook's Parlay framework, where a lot of different natural language processing models have been bundled together into the Parlay framework. And once you install that, you can, test out all kinds of models very easily. So what this is doing, this ESPnet, is it's a framework for testing text-to-speech and speech-to-text programs and models and so forth. All right, so this is installed now. So I want to run within the ESPnet virtual environment. I want to run Jupyter Notebook. And the best way to get Jupyter Notebook is just to make sure that you have Anaconda. And I installed Miniconda in my base as my base environment. So I actually have to do a conda install Anaconda if I want to have all the Anaconda programs available. You can install just Jupyter Lab, but it'll be missing some stuff and it won't run properly. So it's best to just install Anaconda, and then you're going to get everything you need for running Jupyter notebooks. So what it does here is it's looking through my very complex virtual environment, and it's trying to find packages that will work properly, versions of packages that will work properly with the versions of packages that are already in here. So it figured it out. So that's why I love Conda, because it just makes things so much easier. You don't have to figure this stuff out by yourself. It's almost impossible to figure it out by yourself. I mean, look at all of these programs that it's installing here. Right? These are all Python programs, and some of them are very complex, and you'll just never be able to do this on your own. Or at least I'm not able to do it on my own. I can't, I don't know your level of proficiency. All right, so this is in here now, so I can do a Jupyter Lab, right? So the old way to do this was Jupyter Notebook, like this, and it would open it. I always put an ampersand at the end so that it'll run in the background. Jupyter Lab is what I want, and then I'm going to put the ampersand there. All right, this way I can still use the terminal, although if there are a lot of messages and whatnot, then I might not want to do that. All right, so now I have a brand new notebook, and I'm going to pull this out and stick it over here and then minimize this. I don't need this for now. So now I have this guy here, and I have my notebook over here, right? I'm going to click this for new notebook, Python 3 notebook. Let's do a Python minus version. And since we started this up inside that virtual environment, it should be 3.7. And to run a cell, you hold the control key down and hit enter. So there we go, 379. That's fine. I'm just going to delete this cell. I don't need it anymore. All right, so let's copy all of this. Copy cell. Paste cell. Now, I really hate the way, come on, paste cell below. I really hate the way this works. Copy cell, paste cell. Still hate how it works. All right, which is to say that it's not working. What is this? Link to cell. Copy cell. All right, a control V seems to do it. And then let's just hit enter there. Now you see when it gets the little number here, that means that it has run, and you can check down here, it says that it's idle, which means that it's finished. So what has it done? It's done this language equals Japanese. Ooh, that's not what I want. Let me put a little thing here. That's a comment. 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 So let's get rid of this comment here. We want the language to be English, and we want the tag equal to what? We want to use fast speech 2, right? And then for the vocoder, we wanted wavegan, right? There we go. And then we'll run this again. Control Enter. So it's going to set these three variables here: fs, lang, two variables there, tag and vocoder tag. It's going to set those to what we want to run. And here's the model set up. So once again, let's do this. Copy the cell, come over here, Control V, paste the cell. My nose is getting itchy again. I'm going to start sneezing, I think. Excuse me. All right, so what are we doing here? We're importing time, importing torch from ESPnet, the model zoo. We're going to download the model. We're going to import the model downloader. We're going to import text to speech. We're going to download pre-trained model. We're going to download load model. So here's where we put the tag in, right? So the tag was Ken Bayashi, LJ Speech, Fast Speech 2. Device is Cuda. That means we're going to use my GPU because I have a GPU, even though it's a shitty GPU. Hopefully it'll be large enough to do this. It's one of the problems I have. I start running these things and I run out of memory because I only have a 1050 Ti. So hopefully this will run on that. I don't think these Tacotron models are that large. Only for Tacotron 2, threshold, min length ratio, all these things are getting set. Only for fast speech. We're going to set the speed control, alpha. So I'm not sure what some of these things are. I don't really care at this point. All right, so here's where we're going to do a load model of a download pre-trained model. And here's the vocoder tag to the Cuda environment here, eval. So I think this is going to do the download. So this may take a while. Let's see if it works. So I'll hold down Control and hit Enter. And you see down here it says busy, right? And now it's giving us some messages. Downloading package, average perceptron tagger to home BARD NLK data. Unzipping the taggers. Downloading the package, CMU dict. So that's Carnegie Mellon University's dictionary. It's going to be used here. It doesn't like latex, but it's going to do it anyway. So these are some warning messages about how this stuff is getting old and moldy, but they're using it anyway. That's what deprecated means. Will be removed 2 minor releases later. Right, here's the important thing. It is downloading this here, or it has downloaded it. So it's grabbing the model. This is very good news. And actually it's done. See, I'm going to look down here and it says idle. So that means it's idle is the same thing as done. All right, so here's synthesis here. Let's copy the cell. Do we have a cell here? We need a new cell. So this is unusual. Why doesn't it have a cell? Let's try this. Paste cell below. Didn't work. I hope this didn't crash on me. See, it should have added a cell down here. All right, so I'm not seeing this. This is giving a problem. So let's just add a new cell to a Jupyter notebook. All right, so that's a B. Just hit B. All right, there we go. That's all I had to do is hit the letter B. So pain in the ass that they don't give you a thing up here in the menu. But thank you, Google. So let's see if we can paste this with a Control V. And if I'm not mistaken, this is all we have to do. So let's do a Control Enter. Input your favorite sentence. This is a test from Mikey B. And here we go.
This is a test from Mikey B.
And that's not bad. That really isn't bad. And so I'm going to be implementing this on my own system because it runs fast. I'm going to have to do some more testing, see how much memory it uses and that sort of thing. But this seems to work quite well, quite quickly. That's the problem with the tachotron stuff I've done before. It's been very, very slow. This is fast, and that's not a bad voice. And who knows, maybe I can...
This is a test from Mikey B.
I could probably change the voice if I want to. We'll see. I'll do more research here. But Google's text-to-speech has become garbage. GTTS, they just want money, I suppose, which I can't blame them for that. It's been free and it's been working for a couple of years, and now all of a sudden it's crap. So I've got to find something new, and it looks as though this is it. So anyway, I thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this and get a lot out of it, and do some of your own projects. All right, bye-bye.